Great night. We've got one more track event left. We've still got the pole vault going on, don't forget, and that triple jump. But Tim, the 3,000 metre steeplechase has produced some great races, fast races in the past. Remember the women last year?
Well, the Miss Stadium record by Brimin Kipruto back in 2011, 7:53. Anything around 8 minutes is very quick in the steeplechase. I can tell you that 8 of the world top 9 are in this race tonight. Well, so many big names here. We'll go through more of them as the race gets underway. But Keegan, very much amongst the favourites. Benjamin Keegan, great flat speed. He's a 3:36 1,500 metre runner. He's run 8:06 this year. That was in Rome, where he took victory a few weeks back in the Italian capital. And El Bakalli, very much amongst the favourites as well. El Bakalli, who won here last year. There he is, the Moroccan, World Championship silver medalist 2 years ago. 10th fastest man in history, in fact. El Bakalli was 4th in Rio, just outside the medals, but had a bit of a disaster in Rabat. It was only 11th in Rabat, middle of last month, in 8:27, El Bakalli. So is he going to bounce back from that? Just under a year ago, of course, Beatrice Chepkoech set a women's world record by over 8 seconds in the steeplechase in this very arena, but I'm not sure any barriers will be broken tonight, although, funnily enough, they are apparently looking for 64 seconds per lap, which means 8-minute pace, give or take a second or two, from the pacemakers, Lawrence Kipsang and Barnabas Kipyego. Kipsang, by the way, who's going to be a pacemaker, he's run 8:11 this year. He's world number 8, and yet he's a pacemaker here tonight. Look out too for Wale. We saw him earlier on. He is World Junior bronze medalist last year, was second in Rome and winner in Rabat, and he's run 8:06 this year. Very quick as the 18-year-old Ethiopian. So away they go. The pacemakers, though, first pacemaker should be Kipsang, second pacemaker Kipyego, to project them towards a time of close to 8 minutes. The fastest time in the world this year, actually fairly modest for this stage of the season, at 8:06. It is Wale who holds that. Keegan has also run 8:06 this season. He's second fastest in the world, and Wale slots right in there behind the pacemakers. In third place there, I think, on the inside. Fourth place, in fact, if you discount Kipsang out in front in the yellow, or include Kipsang out in the yellow. Looks like it's going to be quick, Stephen. Of course, you need people to take up the early pace, fill those gaps, perhaps.
Yeah, and I think the issue probably at the moment, Tim, is who here is the favourite. We've seen people. Wale, as you said, has run very, very well. Keegan has run well. I mean, Hilary Bohr's got up there early on. There's no Constantius Kipruto. We haven't seen him for quite a while now. Actually, we haven't seen him. He ran the Kenyan Cross Country Championships earlier in the year, and we haven't seen him since. So you're waiting for someone to sort of go with the pacemakers, be the one to take everybody on here, be the one to take a chance tonight.
So the pacemaker's doing a good job at the moment. Bohr is going with the pace, though. Hilary Bohr, 7th in Rio and 2nd in Doha right at the beginning of the summer, then 5th in Rabat 3-4 weeks back. He's an 8:08 performer at his best, as Hilary Bohr runs for the USA, the former Kenyan. And it is quick, almost single file after less than 2 laps in the steeplechase. Bohr sizing up those barriers and going with the pacemakers. Well, they come through below us now with 4 laps to go in this steeplechase. Let me tell you, they went through 1 kilometre in 2:37. That's way inside 8-minute pace. It's only a click outside world record pace. So Kipsang leading from Bohr, then Kibiwat, then Keegan, Wale, El Bakalli, Bet. And they're strung out, and hardly surprising because they're moving at about 7:54 tempo. And if I tell you that the world record stands at 7:53 by Shaheen back in 2004 in Brussels, 15 years old now, almost 15 years old, that record, you'll understand that they are tanking along here. Now, this middle kilometre is critical, and it's usually where they slow up in this very, very tough discipline. But that is Indian file, slowed right down. I say, strung out, these men, mid-race. Good job done by the pacemakers, Steve.
Yeah, very good, and just starting to gather back together again. So Kipsang doing a grand job out in front, keeping this going. Hilary Bohr committed early, rewarded with that. Keegan just having a little look behind to see what he's got for company, but Kibiwott looks very comfortable to me, and he fancies getting a little bit closer to Kipsang.
3 laps to run. Bohr, whose number has dropped down over his shorts. I'm not sure if that's annoying him or not, but they're beginning to close up. Well, we're looking for the 2-kilometre split here in this men's steeplechase. Remember, it was 2:37 at 1K. Kipsang from Kibiwott, Bohr and Keegan. And they're bunching now. They have indeed slowed. 5:24 at 2 kilometres, so that second kilometre did indeed slow pretty substantial. It was about 10 seconds slower than the first kilometre. What a shame as they go through with 2 laps to run. It's Wale now, my pre-race favourite. He tops the world rankings, but he's just been so consistent this summer. He hits the front, just 18 years old, from Kibiwott, then Keegan and Bohr. And El Bakkali is there. He's having a much better run than he did in Rabat, where so ironically he had a bit of a disastrous night in front of his home fans. These 5, though, you could throw a blanket over them. Big blanket.
Wait, it's all one for El Bakkali. He's just tripping over his own feet or those of Bohr. This is the part of the race where El Bakkali fell apart when the pace, he looked okay with 2 laps to go. He looked as though he was there, and then when they really got going, he kind of fell apart a little bit. But he's there tonight. He's got a chance. 4 men in front of him, but others closing behind. Somebody's got to break out here as they come round. That's the penultimate time over the water jump. They've got 500 metres left. Wale, as Tim was saying, looking really good, but El Bakkali could be a danger this time.
Well, any one of these men could be a danger. They're so tightly bunched. Keegan over that one, okay. Kibiwott on the inside. Bohr on the outside, the smallest of that leading trio. Then El Bakkali. And Wale in 5th place. They hit the bell. The clock's on 7:04.5. El Bakkali negotiates that barrier okay. There's 5 men there. Now, who's going to lose patience and kick the earliest? 6 men there, in fact, because also going well is Caro. Having a fabulous run is Fernando Caro of Spain, European Championship silver medalist last year. He's right up there with the headband at the back of this group, up amongst the best of the East Africans. It's Keegan, a little glance over his shoulder there, takes that one well. Kibiwott on the inside, grimacing there as he kicks Keegan, flailing arms towards the water jump for the final time, gets a little bit of a gap. Good there over the barrier. They don't bother to put their foot in it. The top fellas these days, they fly through the air above that water jump. And it's Keegan now has daylight between himself and Kibiwott in 2nd place in the white. Wale in 3rd. El Bakkali normally can finish fast. Caro having a great run in 5th place. Bohr back in 6th place. And here comes El Bakkali. He won it last year. He's going to win again tonight. The Moroccan takes it. 8:04.82. It's the fastest time in the world this year. And he has indeed bounced back in spectacular. Wale, El Bakkali, who has run 7:58, is one of that select club of men who have gone under 8 minutes. But Steve, didn't they motor that final lap?
Yes, and you're right, Tim Carey has been confirmed. What a run by him. I mean, there's great performances here all over. That's what happens in Monaco. You sometimes have to look in 3rd, 4th and 5th places for national records, massive personal best. Well, Keegan looked as though he had it. To me, he kicked a bit hard into that water jump, but look at El Bakkali. He does take the barriers better than the others, comes off that last one with just that little bit more momentum, and poor Keegan's arms and legs flailing everywhere, falls apart, just hangs on to 2nd place as Wale charged in with that national record, but not good enough to get 2nd. Caro, Abraham Kibiwott, Hillary Bohr with another big performance under 8:10. But that was much better from El Bakkali. He kept involved, and when the pace got going, he was able to finish better, much better than he did in front of his home crowd in Rabat.
He only led for about 5 metres, El Bakkali, but it's 5 metres before the line. Look at that pleading glance from Keegan across at the Moroccan. You couldn't, could you? Yes, I can, and he does. 8:04.82 for a world lead. Keegan, a personal best nonetheless, even.